Tonight on The Dive, Knick-Knack King David Dewey and Reverend Laura Thompson. Your table is ready and your server Colleen will be right with you.
Hey, I'm glad you're back. Good to see you. You ready for the big day? Got another week and a half? Something like that. Yeah. I might just spend the holiday right in here. Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time I spent Christmas at a diner, right? First diner I ever worked at was Mickey's Diner, downtown St. Paul. How about them apples? It's reopened, but they sell cappuccino now, so is it really Mickey's? I don't know. My old fry cook Rose, she'd be turning in her grave on that one. But you get to a point in your life where you've done something for a living and it's so ingrained into you that you just go, wow, I've done this longer than I've done anything else in my life. I've been a waitress longer than I've been a mother. I've been a waitress longer than I've been a comedian. Longer than I've been a wife, certainly. That's out of 3 marriages. But, it's sometimes you just gotta lean into it and say, okay, this is who I am and this is what I do. So why not? Why not spend Christmas in the diner? I spent Christmas 1985 at Mickey's Diner. And one of the things that was so bizarre to me is that it was dead. So 8-hour shift, nobody was in there, right? For I don't know, the first 6 hours. And then finally we got this guy, Don Panatti, is a cab driver for Citywide Cab. And he came in and he's a big guy, really, really big guy. He had his own mug that looked like it was a mug for coffee, but he also put pop in it, and it was so huge it was like an ice cream bucket with a sippy lid and a handle on it, and it suited the scale of his body, right? Because if he had tried to use one of our cups, I don't know that his fingers would have fit through the handle. He would have looked like a fairy tale giant. So the giant bucket cup really fit him. He came in and he brought us a little fifth of whiskey. So it was me and Rose and Donald, the dishwasher, and then we got to sit down and have our little employee meal, and we spiked our coffee with some of the whiskey that Panatti brought in, and it was kind of beautiful. And it was snowing, and when you're in the diner and it's snowing, it's like you're living inside of a snow globe, and it was just it was very peaceful and magical and comforting. And in my life now, I'm a older lady, right? And I the whole thing, I've had hospital Christmases and the diner Christmas and California Christmases where there's no snow at all, and snowed in Christmases, and Christmas where the tree fell down, and Christmas where everything ended up turning out just right. And the one thing that I do know about Christmas is that wherever you go and whoever you're with, the only responsibility that you have to Christmas, and that's completely a non-denominational thing, is that you just put those feelings of goodwill and cheer into a to-go box, okay? You take them with you. So, happy holidays, and I'm glad you're here. Hey!
Hey, Colleen.
You're fine! I'm sorry, I forgot your name. What's your name again?
It's been a long time.
I know. Oh my gosh. I forgot your name.
David.
David, it's so good to see you. And you know what? I'm doing great. You're in town.
You look good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm doing what I can. I got my festive holiday hair.
Yeah.
Do you like the decor here?
I do.
All right.
You
'Cause you're a
got- You got
decorman.
a little glitter on your
That's okay.
face, actually.
That's okay.
Looks
That's
good.
like,
You're
glitter.
kind of sparkly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, you can't just, if you touch anything with glitter on it, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's
With this stuff, it's terrible, but
Mhm.
we use it all the time.
now where are you working right now?
Well, I started a company about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the knick-knack business.
You're in the knick-knack business.
Yeah.
All right. So like this kind of stuff?
You could say that.
Do you do
Yeah.
holiday stuff?
We do. Yeah.
Like every kind of holiday?
Every kind of holiday.
Did you hear about Hobby Lobby and they're not doing dreidels and Hanukkah anymore?
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
It's just not profitable?
I suppose, but man,
Huh.
still, no, they took it all out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably a profit thing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's.
So, what do you got at this? Do you have a
Oh,
menu?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have. Here I'm enjoying my hot drink, and it's
Yeah,
a little bit
I saw
cold here in the basement.
Yeah.
I've got some decaf coffee
Uh-huh.
with cream, and
That'd
I
be
also.
awesome.
Is that what you want?
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
I got a holiday mug for you too.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. You want some cream?
Yes, please.
Okay, that sounds good. And I have cherry pie.
Okay.
Would you like some cherry pie?
I would love some.
Oh, good. All right,
Yeah.
there you go. We'll do that. Would you like? It is time for pie. Would you like whipped cream?
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Great.
Yeah. Hey, I brought you a present.
You did?
Yeah. One
There
of
you
my favorite things that we made over the last 15 years.
Oh my gosh.
Now, how am I supposed to eat this?
Oh, with a fork. Here.
Mm,
There you go.
that's good. Thank you.
This is awesome. An Army Man bottle opener. It's heavy too. Genuine die cast metal.
Mhm.
This is fantastic. Look at, and it's so easy to. You could like. This
Yeah.
could be like for home security too.
Mhm.
I love it.
It's not for wimps.
No. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I brought something in I'm not going to give it to you.
Okay.
But I will I'll show it to you
Mhm.
because I figured you're the knick-knack king.
Hmm.
You're into it, and this it may or may not be part of your history as a knackerian.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Close your eyes because you're in for a big surprise.
Okay.
All right, here it is. What do you?
I can remember when I was in Taiwan and sculpting this thing with the guy that was sculpting.
You sculpted that?
No, I didn't. I oversaw the sculpt.
Oh,
I had to-
okay.
my part of what I did was to.
And that happened in Taiwan?
No, that at that time we made this. Yeah, that was in Taiwan. Later they were made in China.
So, okay, well, get this. I mean, you remember that whole snafu, right?
Mickey. Well, yeah, because I think they contacted us.
They
and
did.
We worked out something with it.
Yeah, eventually, but like, and then, well, you worked. I think the company, it was Department 56.
That's right.
How
was
they worked
the
it out.
VP there.
You were
Yeah.
okay.
My first 20 years of my career were with Department 56.
Oh, this is the only Department 56 thing I have, but it's very close to my heart, and as you can see, it's been broken. I've had, but I love it so much. I had two of them.
Really?
Yeah, I had two of them. My mom actually bought this for me, and and she came into Mickey's, and she said, "Look at this," and I said, "Oh my God, everybody," and Rose, the fry cook where I was working, she said, "Do they still have them?" And then my mom said, "Yeah," and Rose gave her like a $20 bill or whatever, and my mom walked back down to Dayton's or wherever the heck it was, and bought another one, and then it was up on the shelf at Mickey's forever, and so it just became the Mickey's one. But this is mine. This is mine. So So how does a person get into the knick-knack business?
Well, I studied Chinese in college,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to learn Chinese, so I ended up going to Taiwan for a year, and then schooling and living with Chinese families,
Uh-huh.
and then I decided to stay and start a company, a business, which I did.
Wow.
We were a trading company, essentially working with companies like Department 56 that
Okay.
want to get things made overseas,
Ah.
and they would contact us to facilitate.
So you started this company, and I mean, when you start anything, you're sort of like chief cook and bottle washer, right?
Mhm.
Right? So you had a hand in some of the designs, you had a hand in,
Right.
yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have any art background or just,
No, not really. I don't actually draw myself, but I, instruct people what to draw.
yeah.
A lot of times it's all about an idea. For instance, this bottle opener
Uh-huh.
started as a concept. And when this artist said to me, oh, how about an Army Man bottle opener? I said, that's a fantastic idea. Who would have thought, right? It's perfect with, the opener part.
Yeah.
And it's something that everybody remembers. I even remember growing up playing with plastic Army men.
Yeah, the little green
And
guy.
so if you have a real long history of familiarity with that product, it's going to sell a lot better than
Sure.
something, because this has a gut appeal to a certain buyer.
Well, I will cherish this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, are you going to celebrate the holiday season this year?
Not really, not much.
No. They don't celebrate it in China.
They don't.
No. But so it's funny that you're around all this stuff, and you just.
I like this little guy here.
I love that little guy.
Actually, he's kind of a big guy.
Well, yeah, I love that big guy. Look at that.
I guess Hamill's allergic to him, but
Yeah, Hamill
I
doesn't.
better put it back.
He
so
doesn't
it
like
doesn't
the fuzz, but the fuzz.
Do not touch that. It is awful to the touch. I don't know what it's made out of. It's extremely unpleasant.
Yeah. So I'm afraid I can't claim to be completely environmentally friendly in this business.
I don't know that any knickknacks are environmentally friendly.
I'm sure they're not.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I don't know. I've had to move my mom several times, and man,
Is she heavy? I didn't think it was that funny.
it was. I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, she ain't heavy. She's my mama.
Yeah.
But like so many knickknacks.
Oh, my
There was
God.
there was a time, when that was like a thing, and you had music boxes and figurines, and you would have a shelf, and you would have like
Right.
a little tableau of Hummel children,
Uh-huh.
and then down on the other part you'd have your
Snow babies.
whatever that is, snow babies.
You missed that. You're a little too old.
I
for
miss
snow
snow babies. Does that have anything to do with like trolls?
No.
Okay.
They're little porcelain babies that were copied from a German original from the turn of the century. They were really tiny. They called them snow babies.
Okay.
So at Department 56, one of our artists got the idea to turn it into a figurine line that later sold about 35 million a year. Those are snow babies.
That's big business.
It's big business.
That's a big business. Like
But today, nobody buys that stuff.
nobody buys
Nobody
knickknacks.
wants
They buy
figurines.
season. No, figurines are a tough sell. Figurines are a
Yeah.
tough sell. I remember when what was that? They were like a porcelain thing, and they all had the same color scheme. Yadros.
Yadro? Oh, from Spain, yeah.
Yeah.
That
And-
was a big collectible when figurines were popular.
Yeah. And
They're
what are you
still
gonna,
around.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't trust myself around breakables. Mm-mm.
Well, it's all, unfortunately, a lot of stuff that people love to buy, but they don't really need.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
just about it. Look who's here!
Oh, Merry Christmas, Kelly.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Thank you.
remember.
I know.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
David.
Hi, I'm Laura.
and
Nice to
David.
meet you,
I
Laura.
brought you some Christmas cookies.
Look at these.
Wow.
Oh, can
Yum.
we share with David too?
Of course.
Oh
That's what they're
man.
meant for.
Let me get you. You want a tea or a coffee?
Coffee be great.
Okay, you want some? Okay, great. You like? You want any cream?
Sure, I'll take some cream.
Okay, cream in that coffee for Laura. David is a knick-knack king,
Nice.
and so he's been all over the world and done all kinds of, like bringing an idea from concept to shelf. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. And what? Yeah, I know what. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Concept to,
Yeah.
the ether, and then
Fruition.
to like, yeah,
Sure.
fruition. And Laura is a minister.
Yeah. Unitarian Universalist
Oh,
minister.
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think
Well,
about that?
Actually, I was just thinking about the giftware business, knick-knack business.
Yeah.
That I don't feel like I'm really contributing anything to the world, so I need to come to you for
Oh.
some advice and solace.
Oh. No pressure.
Do you get sick of people coming to you for advice and solace?
One of the drags about my job is that I'm like supposed to have like a reaction to everything. Like,
Like a strong feeling about,
yeah, like people look to me for whatever, and that's great. If any of my flock are watching, it's fantastic. And also, it's a bit much sometimes, but I really think it's just whatever you make of it. And
Do
But
people
I do
think you
think-
have the answer to everything?
we're Unitarian Universalists. We don't have the answers for anything.
Okay.
something interesting about Laura's journey, because Laura and I actually went to high school together, and took very diverging paths. But
Well, I don't think anybody expected me to go on the path that I ended up on.
no, but you didn't even
Nor did
expect
you.
yourself
No,
to
I
go on that path. So when we turned 40, right around the same age, right?
Uh-huh.
Laura says, okay, our kids are out of the house. She goes, what are you going to do now? And I said, I don't know. It's what I'm doing. And Laura said, I'm going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I was going to be a lawyer.
She's going to be a lawyer. And I said, why do you want to be a lawyer? And not that I didn't think she'd be a great one, I mean, I think she's got an excellent sense of right and wrong. And I was in debate class with her, and boy, you couldn't win, right? But argument, remember? They called
Colleen,
it.
you ignorant slut. Yes, I do remember. I
Yeah.
believe that's how we addressed you
Yes.
in argument class.
Yes,
Yes.
you did.
Oh, those were the
That was
days.
that was a term of endearment.
Was.
I'm going to just think of that as a term of endearment. But
That's how I remember it.
yeah, but then, and I was talking to you about that one night, and you said, well, there needs to be more LGBTQ judges.
Well, yeah, so I was going to go into, okay, well, first of all, I had to go to college first, which my son, our kids are the same age. We had our kids when we were just barely out of high school. And he didn't want to go to college. I always thought he'd go to college. He didn't go to, he's like, no, I'm going to be a rock star. Your dream was college. So I was like, fine, I'll go to college. So then I went to college, and I thought I was going to be a history teacher or history professor. I studied history. Then I decided I didn't really like being around people who didn't like to talk about history that much, which would be high schoolers or college kids who had to take those classes. So what I really wanted to do was reach out to people that I wasn't really trying to teach history. I was trying to reach out to the kids who were kind of on the fringe and invisible. Colleen may remember that was a little bit more like me in high school. Colleen was very popular in high school, even at open school, and I was like kind of up against the wall, really shy and introverted.
Everybody knew who you were, though.
Well, we went to an alternative school,
Yeah.
but I was quiet, and
Yeah, you were quiet.
you know, you were one of my friends, but I wasn't. I mean, Colleen was a bit of a star in high school,
Yeah.
but yeah. And I was quiet. I was quiet.
Woo!
And anyway, I just wanted to reach out to the kids that were on the fringe. And then I realized I wasn't really trying to teach. I was trying to reach people on the fringe. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to go to law school, because at that point it was, I'm queer and we couldn't get married. And I'm like, maybe I can work on something. Anyway, then I started going to church, to a UU church. And the problem was I couldn't go to a UU church without thinking I should be a minister, because I saw the minister doing what I was actually trying to do, which was like, make people aware that we're connected instead of disconnected, because when we feel disconnected, that's where everything goes awry in my mind. So
Well said.
yeah.
So what do you think about the Christmas season?
You know, Christmas is a funny thing in the UU church, because we're not Christian exactly. I mean, we have some Christians among us, so we have
anyone is welcome.
yeah, so
No
I mean,
matter
we have
what you-
atheists and humanists and Buddhist leaning folks and pagan leaning folks and folks that were brought up Jewish and folks that are just curious and seeking and like to question things and debate things, a lot like argument class. We got a whole bunch of those types of people there.
Sure.
And so Christmas is a little interesting for us because we're not celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior. That's not our thing. But Christmas it's so much more than that anyway. I mean, it's, for one thing, there's so many Christmassy things like the tree and Santa Claus, which don't have anything to do with Jesus anyway.
Right.
And
They're pagan.
right, they're pagan.
Did Santa come out of Jesus?
At the manger?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't there.
Okay.
But I will tell you an interesting story. You know, I think there's a couple different origin stories about Kris Kringle, or some people say St. Nicholas.
Right.
So there was actually a St. Nicholas,
Mhm.
right, way back in the early church. And St. Nicholas, I think he's from Alexandria.
Hmm.
He got into an argument with this guy named Arius, who, this was in 325. And it was the Council of Nicaea. Maybe if you grew up religious, you might remember the Nicene Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I do.
So the Nicene Creed says that God and Jesus are the same, made of the same essence, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what came out of that council. They were all arguing. It's
the
like
Trinity.
argument class.
But they
The
didn't
Trinity.
include
The Trinity.
sanity in that.
Father, Son,
Santa
and Holy
hasn't been
Ghost.
there yet,
Isn't
no.
that the Nicene
Yeah,
Creed?
yeah. So the
See, told you I knew.
The Trinity came up out of that. Colleen's got it.
I
She
did.
got confirmed as a Lutheran.
I
I did
did.
not. But that's exactly what happened there. But it didn't just happen like that. Like, people had different things that they thought Jesus was. And so they were all like debating about it. Like, who Jesus was to God. Was Jesus God, or was Jesus less than God? Like, was Jesus just human and a prime? Like, there were different bishops having this argument. Well, St. Nicholas didn't like this guy Arius. What he was saying, he actually like whapped him. It was like the original Batman smacking meme. Like,
St. Nicholas.
smacked St. Arius. Well, he wasn't a saint. I don't think St. Arius was a saint. But yeah, he smacked him down. And then they kicked Arius out of the church. And then years later, they don't let him come back, but then he died some horrible thing where all his bowels fell out while he was sitting on the
St.
crapper.
Nicholas?
No, Arius.
Arius.
Because he probably got poisoned.
Boy,
by
I'm
the
glad
other
that
bishops.
didn't make it to Knick, knacks.
Yeah.
The whole bowels
pretty
falling
brutal.
out. Like, why would this? What happened?
Well, then all those
Like
ideas.
spontaneously?
Yeah. Well, I think he got poisoned
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
by the other bishops. Anyway, that mayor. So Saint Nicholas smacked somebody. Just saying, he wasn't all.
It's kind of like the original
Whatever.
Krampus.
Yeah. He's got a streak in him. That's all I'm saying about that.
Mhm.
But all that stuff, a lot of it's pagan, and I mean the tree is pagan, and certainly all the. You know what I am doing this week? I'm going to a winter solstice celebration on Saturday.
Nice.
This guy Jamie Meyer, he's got this. Drumming the Soul Awake is his little thing, and they do this big drumming circle with all this like Nordic pagan stuff.
Oh, I love drumming.
So I'm
Any
I'm
lighted
doing
trees
that.
in there? Or,
Trees and drumming and
Christmas
everything. All the
ornaments.
lights are turned down and reindeer horns and the original
Oh.
knickknacks carved
Yeah.
out of reindeer horn.
Okay.
So, you know, with all the bones, like they really do kind of
Yeah.
like the shamanistic kind of thing with rattly bones, or maybe they're not real bones. I don't know if they are or not, but it's kind of cool. I like that. But Christmas, for me, Christmas is low key. It's sharing food with friends, and I love the tree and the twinkling lights. I really like the solstice. I really like the
Yeah.
whole idea of the dark is a really needed time for
Mhm.
rest and renewal, and it's a very
Yeah.
rich time this time of year. So I tend to focus more on that than the Christmas Christ part of it.
Do
But,
For me, I'm just into the physical gadgets
well, you're
and trees. And
you're
things
in the
like that.
stocking stuffer business. It sounds like
Mhm.
big time.
Yeah, I can't
What
think
would
about
we-
Christmas. in
What
any
would we
other way.
have? What would we have for our stockings if not for the knick-knacky? What do you got over there? The thought I saw Army Man.
No. Army
I
Man
thought, yeah,
bottle
yeah.
opener.
Like that's a
This would be a prime thing to have.
look at,
in
and your
stocking.
packaging fits right in a stocking because you know there's
Uh-huh.
nothing worse than packaging that doesn't fit in a stocking.
Right?
I
Hey,
thought of
perfect.
it.
when you were a kid, what was in your Christmas stocking?
My
Didn't you have a
mom always-
Christmas stocking?
Yeah,
My
you know-
mom always put an orange at the.
yeah. We got an
The
orange
toe.
too in the
And it
toe.
was just taking up space.
So you wouldn't get
Something you really
scurvy?
didn't want.
Did you get an orange? I think it's
No.
It's like a.
I got Dawn's backache pills. Like my mom.
Sounds more practical than an orange. I
They
mean,
were-
like I think they just took them off the counter and put them right in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. They
How
did.
magical was that?
Yeah.
Not.
Well, my mom
Oh.
would run out of stuff, because the money was spent on the gifts, and then
Sure.
she'd end up looking through the medicine cabinet to see if there was anything unopened. Like
She just throw it in there.
Cherry Luden's cough drops,
Wow.
anything. So yeah, probably an orange, handful of, nuts in the shell,
Mm.
and you're looking at them and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with that?
Oh, you know what else I remember? Those lifesaver books.
Yeah, I did get those.
Lifesaver.
I
Yeah.
remember it was like it looked like a book, and you open it up, and there were like 12 different flavors of lifesavers or
Uh-huh.
something
Oh.
in there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then you do kamikaze and stuff a bunch of different flavors in your cheeks like a
Yeah.
meerkat or whatever feeds themselves through their cheeks. Guess anybody does.
Hey, David. Hey, Hamill in the kitchen here. How many,
Hamill.
how many how many items did you make for Christmas? Your company there this year.
Well, we introduced about 800 new items. Not just Christmas, but overall.
This year.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's the biggest seller?
We don't know yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I suppose. If you were gonna guess, what dog is winning that race?
Well, there's it's kind of hard to describe some things, but we have like a jewel-shaped bottle stopper which lights up and looks, does this sort of
So you could like
iridescent
right.
lighted thing.
So it's like a reminder you didn't finish that bottle of wine.
Exactly.
I
Do you
like it.
sell things all over the world?
No, we do UK and the US primarily. Yeah.
Are there things that will sell here that just won't sell in the UK?
Oh yeah. This,
Yeah.
Like things
This
with
is
guns
very
on them?
American. This guy.
That guy?
That's
Sure.
a 1940s look of a,
Yeah.
so- but Santa is popular in Europe, obviously.
Okay.
also, so,
Sure.
mm.
Well,
Father Christmas.
would you guys like to do a little Christmas quiz?
I'd love it.
All right. I didn't think I was gonna really have any questions. I didn't, and I wasn't super eager about Christmas. But then I came up with 10. in
Huh?
I guess in honor of the 12 days of Christmas.
Wait a minute. Would you like some pie, Laura?
No, thanks.
No pie.
Oh.
These are, by the way, whatever this one is with the stuff in the middle.
Oh, that's a hibiscus thumbprint with hibiscus.
Wow.
That's
You
like
like
the
that?
best cookie I've ever had
Hmm.
in the world.
Those ones were very good too.
Which, what are those?
Around the white.
Those ones are the pistachio with a brown butter glaze,
Oh,
and then the
Glaze is
brown
delicious.
ones are chestnut and spice dipped in chocolate. They have a little kick to them.
And
You know, you guys could just say no.
No, I want to
No,
do
no,
it. I
no,
want to
no,
do it.
no.
You guys gotta have some of these cookies too. I'm not gonna eat any more.
I'm
Okay,
always one for
Okay,
up
Jam,
for, up
Ham
for
will
a
shoot.
quiz.
I like to play games.
Let's go.
All right. Legend would have us believe that this candy represents the hook of our shepherd Jesus.
Oh, that's-
Candy cane.
Yeah.
Yep, that is right.
I always get the 100, the level 100. I never get the 1000.
Well, and it just gets packed. I mean, I use legend because I'm finding this stuff on the internet, right? And I mean, they're saying that it's upside down. It's a J for Jesus, and the red is the blood he shed, and the white is his purity.
Are you serious?
But really, originally, candy canes were white, and they were given by a choir master to keep kids quiet during a long nativity service, and they weren't
Oh.
peppermint.
What were they?
I think they were just something you stick in your mouth.
Was it glue?
I mean, it was 1600s
Sure.
in Germany, so
Yeah.
basically,
Could have been arsenic.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Um,
Hot chocolate wasn't even sweet back then.
in the 1880s, Woolworths started selling a little green ornament that continues to be sold to this day.
A pickle.
What? I didn't even finish reading the question.
Of course,
It's not on the button.
yeah. Yes, it's a camouflaged ornament. Woolworth bought those from Germany as well. Fruits and vegetables, they added the pickle. It became a tradition. Some people say whoever finds the green hidden ornament, you get to open the first present.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
The
about
Christmas
that.
pickle.
The Christmas pickle.
I learned something new.
All right, so that was Dave's territory. Here,
All right, where's the religious question?
Well, here-
Some
well,
pagan traditions or something to bail me out.
well, how about I just read this one with the last line because I think you already mentioned it. Who was Saint Nick's counterpart?
Saint Nick's counterpart who
And
would punish?
the good cop, bad cop. You already brought it up.
Was that Krampus?
That's right. So we
Oh,
don't need
yeah.
to read all these long-winded questions. Very good. We'll do okay for Laura. All right, let's go into pop culture for a second. White Christmas, sung by Bing Crosby, is the best-selling Christmas song of all time at more than 50 million copies sold. However, it was authored by a Jewish man. Who was he?
Oh. It's on the tip of my tongue.
All right, say
Oh.
it.
Oh.
It's one of those, if you're thinking of somebody and unsure. Oh, come on. Broadway. Who's
I
it?
know. Oh.
Bernstein?
Leonard
Leonard Bernstein?
Gilbert.
Whoa, is that loud? Holy macaroni.
Who was it?
Let me, that would be Irving Berlin.
Hmm.
Yes. Irving
Oh.
Berlin's White Christmas. The whole.
I love that movie.
All right, Laura, here goes one for you. Yuletide algebra. The X and Xmas is not a byproduct of a Christian holiday gone secular. What
That
is
was the cross, right?
It's actually the Greek letter chi, and is let me look at my notes here. Yes, actually the first letter in Christ. X is shorthand for Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior, and precedes Constantine's first Christian empire. The X would be on shields and battles. There was a time where people who were not so literate, that was like the regular way you would identify Christ.
Sure.
You would even read XTIAN as Christian.
Like
Like,
ex Tina Aguilera.
sure. But I mean, there were people who came to Ellis Island who were illiterate, and
Well,
they didn't know how to write their name,
Mhm.
Is
and
that
they
why
would
they sign an X?
and they would say sign an X, and they wouldn't because it was sacrilegious. So they would do an O instead.
Wow.
It was that much associated with Christ that it was probably used more than the full spelling of his name at one point. And people say it's assault on Christmas, to see Xmas. Not at all. Those people don't know their Christian history.
You're wrong.
That's right.
Wrong.
On December 9th, 1965, a television special aired on CBS, and all involved were prepared for it to be an absolute disaster. However, it was...
That's Charlie Brown Christmas.
Can you let me get
No,
through
I
my
know my
questions,
Charlie Brown.
people? Came in second only to NBC's Bonanza. There you,
Yeah.
I know my Charlie Brown.
all right, well, what show did it preempt?
That I don't.
The Munsters. There you
Oh,
are.
well, there you go.
Did you know that Fred Gwynn and who's the guy that played Grandpa?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
He is great.
they got really drunk at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. They were all dressed up in their Munsters regalia. You can look the story up on the internet, and there's pictures of it. But they got hammered. They were drinking on the float and giving the crowd the finger and swearing and laughing, and they were never asked back again.
Man,
Yeah.
I'd love Herman Munster to give me the finger. Well, that's not a kind of, maybe, never mind. You know, Christmas used to
That
be...
stays in the diner.
Christmas used to be a drunken, debaucherous
That's
holiday. That's not one of your questions.
Well,
coming
weren't
up,
all
is it?
the holidays drunken debauchery? They were like so that peasants could, get their yayas
Yeah,
out
well, like
before they
Christmas
went
was
to-
actually like the Puritans, the Pilgrims or whatever, when they came here, they were so religious fanatic. I mean, like Christmas was outlawed here in the colonies for a while. Because it was this total drunken woohoo thing.
Well, and to your Munsters thing, you guys have heard this the story about Adam West and the guy who played the Riddler going to the orgy in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they went into an orgy and just wouldn't break character, and eventually were told to leave because he just kept being Batman and kept being, which really does delight me. I would go to that orgy.
Yeah. Frank Gorshin. Ooh, he was hot.
That's right.
He was. I always had a crush on Frank Gorshin.
All right. On Christmas Eve 1914, British troops spotted little Tannenbaums on the German side of the fight. They heard the Germans singing and responded by singing the song's lyrics in English. The moment resulted in an impromptu truce where troops emerged from the trenches to meet, exchange gifts, and even played soccer. Fighting would resume on December 26th. What was the song that united them, albeit briefly?
Silent Night.
Oh, Christmas Tree.
Silent Night
Oh.
or
Great story.
Stille Nacht?
They went across lines and gave each other cigarettes and little treats that they had and whatever.
And
They
then,
had a little truce for a moment.
And then some of them died 2 days later at the hands of the other. It's
Right,
pretty
yeah.
far out.
Yeah.
The singing voice of the Grinch in You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch was also the voice of a famous breakfast cereal mascot. Which one? It looks like Colleen thinks she has it.
Tony the Tiger.
Tiger, yeah.
Very good.
Wow, now I can't unhear that in my head. Wow.
You're Grinch.
Yeah. Okay, closing in toward the end here. Ancestral communities in the very far north performed winter solstice rituals that gave us images of a man dressed in red and white with his flying reindeer. These shamans would return to Earth with gifts after a trip to the North Star. Their visions are resonant in today's traditions and thought to have been brought about from what?
Can you repeat the question?
I'm not going to let you read it again, but,
Oh, okay.
but yes, here you go. What the heck?
All right.
It's an odd one, right?
Their visions are resonant in today's traditions.
In the sense that it's a red man and the reindeer flying and all that was what they would claim back then.
Santa?
What brought about?
Oh.
What brought about the visions?
That's right.
Drinking eggnog that had been left out too long.
They would drink reindeer piss.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the little red and white mushroom, Amanita muscaria, the one from Mario Brothers.
Uh-huh.
It's very toxic, and reindeer's guts can eat them, and it filters through their body, and then the shamans would drink the piss and they would trip balls on mushrooms by drinking reindeer piss and believe that they could fly to talk to the gods. They saw the flying reindeer. And that's one of the pretty well supported with some history and anthropology, but you know, I think some people would claim
Wow.
legend.
Think about like that, reindeer urine after they've had the mushrooms and like frog licking, and there always had to be somebody who did it first.
I know.
Yeah.
And then you think, well, how? You know, right? Like, I don't know.
Is that a question for David?
No! I don't know. Have you guys ever done acid?
No,
I
I
have
was
not.
Okay, me either.
I was
but
at
I'm
a
gonna.
concert with my son recently, and he had talked about it with me. It was a pretty trippy concert that we were at, and I did smoke a little weed while I was there, and I know he did some acid,
Mhm.
and he asked me if I wanted, and I'm like, I don't think the best place for me to do it the first time is gonna be at a like laser light show with like bass that's vibrating my soul.
I would do acid with you.
I need to. We need to go like a beach or somewhere
Or
calm.
like,
Yeah.
like a Christmas Carol.
I need to be
Go
in
see
a
the
safe
Christmas
place.
Carol.
Yeah.
Maybe.
My kids did acid over the pandemic. I've told this story too many times, but if
That
you
was
haven't
that
heard-
wasn't just because you were pregnant with them.
No, they're in their 30s, and you know, it was like the pandemic, and they were in a bubble, you know, my son, my daughter, and their best friends, and their partners, and so my daughter rented out a house in Big Bear,
Yeah.
and they all dropped acid, and she told me about it afterwards, and I said, well, what was it like? And then she told me all the stories, you know, and I was really amazed by that because it was a controlled environment, and I really thought the stories were fascinating too. And she said, "Oh, Mom, you have to do it," and she said, "I'll be there." And I thought, okay, but you know, maybe not until I'm 80.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like if I freak out when I'm 80, I might be already hooked up to something. You know? Does that make sense? Like,
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, just wait a little while longer.
Mhm.
Wait a little while longer and then do it. You know, get a little more input into the data machine, and then
think
just
we
let
had-
it all bleed out.
We also had like that terrifying stuff in health class about acid and PCP when we were kids that freaked me out. That I was just like,
Well, yeah, PCP.
I'm never doing any
You know,
of
you
those.
never
drugs.
hear about PCP anymore.
People were jumping off roofs and stuff. and
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't
think
ever
that's
hear
done.
about that anymore. Angel dust.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Angel dust.
Scratch the bugs out from under your skin. That's how you know it's working.
I don't know why I was
80s
asking.
drugs.
Do you have any like psychedelic knickknacks other than the light up
No,
decanter?
just a pot leaf ornament.
You do?
Yeah,
Oh, that would
How-
be a hard one to find on the tree too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
But-
what is, this one's for each of you.
Oh,
Each of you, so somebody's going to be stuck taking a swing at this first. One of you is going to
I'll
be
do it.
glib. One's going to be thoughtful. Big surprise who's doing what. We'll start with Colleen.
I put Christmas in a to-go box. Wherever you're going to be, you don't know where you're going to be. You don't know where you're going to be. You never know. You might end up in the hospital. You might end up, your car might break down. You might end up at a Super 8. That happened to me. And I remember I was in a Super 8 having a Christmas with like the worst wine. Oh, it was terrible. And I was in a hot tub with my sister, and we had towel turbans on our heads. And she said, you know, we were passing this bottle of wine back and forth, and she says, "Who celebrates Christmas at a Super 8?" And I took the bottle from her and I said, "A family from America's Most Wanted." You know? And that was like our, you know, you just gotta, wherever you're at, love the one you're with. Have Christmas wherever you're at.
There you go.
Don't get hooked, don't get screwed up on the details. That's my theory. Okay. Is
David.
that too glib?
David?
Well, I think the most important thing about Christmas, and I've thought about this long and hard because I knew this program was going to be about Christmas, and I think it's about the Christmas ornaments, trees, lights,
Things you can put in people's stockings,
yeah.
maybe.
exactly,
Small gift.
presents.
The meaning of Christmas. I don't know the meaning. Yeah, I mean, it is whatever you make of it, but I just know there's something that can feel magical this time of year in the lights and in the songs and
And the ornaments.
the ornaments and the glittery things in the magic when the kids were young. Man, I got Opus the Bat Cave one year when he was like 5.
Her son Opus.
Set it up all cool, like Batman was like rappelling
Oh,
down, like kicking the Joker in the
I
face.
remember
And
that.
the music was going when he woke up in the morning. He was yelling up the chimney, "Thank you, Santa Claus. Thank you, Santa Claus."
You see?
Until he saw
That's
the boxes down in the basement afterwards. And he was like, "Mom, why are the boxes from the Batcave in the basement?" And I said, "Well, Santa doesn't bring that stuff assembled.
Yeah.
And he left them here for us to recycle. He's not a savage. He recycles." He bought that, so it was saved for another couple of years. But I don't know. I just think it's that magic thing. Wherever you find it, I think it's twinkly lights. Driving here to Hamill's house tonight, the lights were fantastic in this neighborhood. Doesn't it give you a little feeling?
Yeah, it does. I always wanted to have one of those houses that was lit up like Las Vegas, but I'm too afraid to get on a
But
ladder.
you can find that feeling anywhere in the Super 8 or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
whoever you're with. You make it with whoever you're with. Mickey's Diner.
Exactly. And I do like lights
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I tend to bring them with me, during the season.
You do?
Yeah, I have them in my car, lights.
Do you drive around with your car lit up? That'd be cool.
Not all the time, but I do have lights with me. So
You
wherever I end up at Christmas,
Oh,
I know I'm always going to
you're
have,
gonna have the lights.
lights.
He's just keeping his options open.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you
Gotta be
think
ready.
Christmas is?
Oh, David, I have one other question for you. You want to tell him a crazy story?
The crazy story?
Yeah, when you were kind of like the Passion of the Christ there, and you were walking through town covered in blood to a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
We've touched on near-death experiences before, but David has one of my all-time favorites, and we're closing up here, and I'm getting toward the end of the show. You feel like sharing that one?
Sure. I was in Taiwan. I think I was 21 years old. Was out running, and there was a bridge that was under construction over this river. The ramps had not been built up, but I wanted to get to the other side. And I was with a buddy of mine. I climbed up over to the other side of the bridge, and there was scaffolding down, bamboo scaffolding, and it was about 3 stories high, I would say. And the cement was being shorn up by the boards. They hadn't completed construction yet, and the boards broke away as I flopped over to try to get down to the scaffolding. And they broke away, and I fell and hit a cement ledge halfway down, which broke my fall. And then I landed on solid cement down below. And the wind was knocked out of me. It took me about a minute and a half or two to even be able to take a breath. I was lying there thinking, how can I still be here? I mean, I didn't feel anything. My body was numb from hitting so hard on the cement. And I noticed my shirt was poking up slightly here, and I felt a hard thing under my skin. It hadn't broken the skin yet, but I could feel there was something very hard in there. And it turned out that I had landed on a rebar, and it went through my chest, punctured my right lung, and was pushing out here.
It was all the way through you, like a
Yeah.
skewer, like you were
Yeah.
like a
I was impaled.
hors d'oeuvre.
I was impaled. I realized, because I did not damage my head. And I think it was because the impact coming down and hitting that rebar, I think that cushioned the fall, and maybe my head even had a slight, you hit this thing and it probably came back up, with the,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think of.
So what did you do next?
So then I thought, well, I'm going to wait here for a heck of a long time for some Chinese to come over with a hacksaw and get me off this thing. So I pulled. It took 3 thrusts to get up and off it.
Wait a minute.
What?
You got off the rebar. You're
Yeah.
impaled.
Yeah.
You got off the rebar.
By doing
was
essentially
anyone-
like a sit-up.
Was anyone there?
My friend was on the top looking down.
No
Oh, this was a
EMTs or
no-
anything like that. You got
no,
yourself
not
up.
nearby.
Because I heard when you're stabbed, you're not supposed to take
No,
it
like
out.
it didn't occur to you that you might bleed out if you unimpaled
Well,
yourself?
I thought this was the right choice.
All
I
right.
just felt I didn't want to be lying there for the 3 hours at least it would have taken them to figure out how to get
Okay.
me off that. And so it was like a spigot of blood shooting out the back. And I walked.
I'm terrible, but
Wow.
So anyway, eventually, got operated on, managed to get to a hospital,
Well-
and I was good and
the blood was coming out of your
coming
back,
out, yeah.
not out of the front.
Not out of it, because it hadn't.
Oh, I see.
Broken
Right, it
the
hadn't
skin
gone
out.
all the way, so there
Mhm.
was like a
Mhm,
cap.
mhm.
And
Well, I'm just wondering, was there a moment during all of that where you had like a,
whoopsie.
what is the meaning of my life moment?
Yeah,
and
did your
then you-
life?
During that
Came
time,
to Knick
well,
Knack?
yeah, that's when
You were like, Nick,
it was like Christmas ornaments everywhere.
it was sparkling everywhere, and you thought the
Stars.
world needs more sparkle.
Stars, exactly, and lights.
Love
you
it.
know.
How did you get to the hospital then?
Well, we had to walk about 200 or 300 yards to get a taxi, and then we took the taxi to the hospital.
Crazy
Yeah.
stories.
Well, that's
And that's the true meaning of Christmas. That's a Christmas. I love hearing that story every time. And it's not just because David almost dies. It's really fraught with other neat stuff.
it's David the Christmas hors d'oeuvre.
Oh man, that is one of the most
The
bonkers.
hospital experience was quite fun.
Yeah?
For the next 10 days, yes.
Eesh.
Yeah.
How do they fix something like that?
Well, it's a good thing you were young, because that helps.
hmm Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really young, you won't even remember.
Well, I mean, we used to bounce back. Heck, I can injure myself sleeping now if I do it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 days, only 10 days in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. I would have thought it would have taken a lot longer. Getting impaled.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's probably, what, is it closing time?
Oh, what about a cartoon?
Oh, cartoon! That's right. We have a Christmas gift.
But we should say goodbye to these guys.
Yeah.
We are going toward the end.
Okay.
here.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It was really fun.
It was fun.
We have to
We-
do this again sometime.
Will you come back to the diner?
Hope I
and
will.
and you're
yeah.
always, you're like
I'll
my
stop back.
favorite regular. All right.
All right.
Love
Try the
you.
cookies.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really kicking them out. That's the
Thank
first. You gotta stay on set. Don't make the show look sad. You sit
Yeah,
there.
don't be sad. Have a
Well, I'm
seat.
gonna have a
Tell
cookie
them-
then.
tell them what-
Yeah, have another cookie.
Elaine, tell us what you were watching here, would you?
Okay. It's a Christmas gift from the Dive to you. It is our friend, and we'll have her on too, but our friend, artist and poet and singer and Heidi Arneson, and she has really gotten into claymation, and she has a little piece that we are going to not premiere her on the Dive, but we're going to play it for you right now, and it's called Why Baby Why.
That's right.
Why, baby, why? Merry Christmas!
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Xmas! Happy holidays!
Hey, let's actually put it up there.
Okay.
I am a baby. As soon as I am big enough, I tear off labels, off toys, off cans, off kittens, off puppies, off people. I tear labels off everything. Why, baby? Why? Now Mama doesn't know orange pop or root beer, bug spray or hairspray, husband or wife. Why, baby, why? Why tear labels off trees and planets and black holes and everything? If my baby tongue could talk, I would say, Mama, labels are a lie. Labels allow major systems like capitalism and religion to control and categorize and commodify. Thus, from birth, we are brainwashed by labels to separate life into good and bad and right and wrong and useful and useless. When the truth is, we are all one seething mass of infinite mystery in a constant state of beautiful transformation. That's why, Mama. That's why.